Hey everybody, so today I am here to do part 2 of my second trimester update. And my first update I did from weeks 13 to 20 weeks, and I also included a little bit about an ultrasound that I had done at 24 weeks, but basically just between those weeks. This one's going to be from 21 weeks to 28 weeks. In that first video I just go over getting diagnosed with gestational diabetes, finding out the gender, the name reveal, things like that. So if you guys want to check that video out, I'll leave it in the description box down below in case you haven't already. But yeah, I would watch that one first because some of this info might make more sense when you watch that one first. But before I get into my update, I did want to say that I try to choose the words that I use my pregnancy updates very carefully. If you're new to my channel, my videos, or you just haven't picked up on it when I've mentioned it, I have lost a daughter before. Mark and I lost our first daughter to a miscarriage. It was the hardest thing that him and I, both individually and together, have ever been through. You know, in our trying to conceive journey, we've been in a lot of different places. I can understand a lot of different emotions that come with the trying to conceive journey. It didn't come easy for us in a lot of different ways, and we've been through a lot to be here. You know, losing our first daughter taught us a lot, but I think more than anything it taught us seriously how fragile life is. I remember finding out that I was newly pregnant and almost being a little naive that nothing could happen, and it really does teach you how immensely fragile life is here and how it can be gone in a second. I've just been in a lot of different places when it comes to our trying to conceive journeys, and I understand, you know, the need to be careful with the words that you choose. So I hope that I'm doing that for you guys. I just don't want to come off as though I'm ungrateful for my pregnancy or anything like that. You know, if I come on here and I'm telling you that my back hurts or, you know, this is happening or whatever, please don't take it as though I'm complaining. Like I said, pregnancy comes with those aches and pains and things like that, and this is just an update for my subscribers and the people who ask for them, you know, who want to know how I'm doing. It's the honest truth. I'm not gonna lie to you guys about how I'm feeling, but also know that this is worth it to me. I don't care how many times I need to be poked with needles, blood drawn, ultrasounds, high-risk doctor visits. I don't care how far I have to drive, how many times I have to drive, having non-stress tests, all the kinds of different things I've been through with all of my pregnancies. I don't care what I have to do to bring our children into the world. So just please don't misconstrue anything that I may say. Just know that I'm trying to be honest with you guys and give you an honest update, because pregnancy isn't always glamorous and it's not always perfect. And yeah, just I hope you guys know and understand that. Sorry to those of you who just wanted an update. I'm gonna get started right now. So as far as myself is concerned, I think in my last video I had mentioned that I gained 2 pounds and some ounces. I've actually lost that. I'll mention that more here in a second. But so as of 28 weeks and 5 days, I've not gained any weight in my pregnancy. My doctors are completely okay with that though, because Remy is the exact size that she's supposed to be. She's doing great. I'm not going hungry or anything like that either, so they're really not concerned with that. I don't know if I mentioned this in my last video, but they did take my blood when I got diagnosed with gestational diabetes to run a bunch of different tests for pre-existing conditions. Basically, just in case I ever developed one of the symptoms or side effects of having gestational diabetes, they knew what it was from. All my test results came back fine, and I don't have any pre-existing conditions, so if I do develop a symptom, they do know that it's from the gestational diabetes and they can treat it that way. That puts my mind at ease that, you know, we don't have to worry about a whole bunch of different things and trying to eliminate, you know, what's causing something like that. So that was really good to hear back. They also did recently take my blood to see if I'm anemic, but I haven't gotten those test results back. I'll be sure to include that in my next update. As far as my gestational diabetes goes, it's actually very, very good. I'm super happy right now with it. I just feel like in the beginning we were still trying to find our footing, seeing what was working for me, what wasn't working for me, and I feel like I've really gotten into a place recently that has just been really nice and like more relaxing, if that makes sense. Obviously my gestational diabetes just doesn't go away because I'm getting good numbers or anything like that, but it's nice to know that I'm having less and less to worry about. My doctors are completely happy with them, and because I've been having good numbers, I don't need any medication changes or anything like that. I'm still on the oral medication once a night just for my fasting number, but even those have been really good. At around 21 weeks, I was teetering towards the edge of going over the limits of my fasting number, but I was able to find a snack that helps immensely with that. But yeah, so that's been going very well, and I'm very thankful for that. As far as how I'm feeling and things like that, Actually, my second trimester is always the easiest, but the longest for me. I feel like in my first trimester and my third trimester, they feel like they take forever, but when I look back on it, I'm like, no, those like took 2 seconds. But with my second trimester, I'm always like, I feel like I was pregnant for 8 months or something in that time frame. But I was really feeling pretty great until like around 24 weeks is when my nighttime nausea and my migraines have resurfaced. They're no fun, but I have found ways to make them a ton better. They're kind of the reason why I think I probably lost that 2.5 pounds, because when I have a migraine, I don't even want to like walk around, let alone hear myself chew food and stuff. So I found that peppermint essential oil has been helping take the edge off. It doesn't take my migraine away completely, but it does take it down to like a bearable headache where I can eat and I'm more comfortable and stuff like that. And then also with my nighttime sickness, the ginger pills have been helping me a ton. Just like with the peppermint oil though, it doesn't completely erase my nausea, but it does make it a lot easier, so I'm able to sleep. Those ginger pills have helped. Also with my nausea, this is kind of embarrassing. TMI, skip this part if you don't want to hear gross stuff. I've been having like random bouts of vomiting. I don't know what it is. You know, like I'll get a serious split second of nausea right before it's gonna happen, and I just get sick. Luckily, I've been at home where I can keep a bucket by my side at all times, and it's not too bad, so I'm not having to worry about going into public and embarrassing myself. But that's been kind of different. I've never had that before, but she's finally starting to get big enough where she can like crawl up underneath my ribs and, you know, sit on those nerves and things like that, which are both things that her sister loved to do. Sophie really loved to dig herself underneath my rib cage, and Sophie loved to sit on my nerves. Remy has seemed to have found a nerve that she likes because she sits on this one quite a bit, but it's really weird. I've never felt this pain before. It runs up through my back, kind of around my shoulder, and then up through my jaw. Like my teeth hurt because of it. Thankfully, I am able to move her off of it most of the time just by switching back and forth, laying on my side. Luckily, I'm able to move her around and get her off of it, so she's not spending too much time on the nerves. Just like her sister, she loves sticking her feet under my rib cage. I had like a week of sore ribs, but then I feel like they've gotten used to it, and I'm just like, oh, yep, there's a foot there. That's where she is. But she's just making herself comfortable, and I don't blame her because I'm sure it's all nice and cozy up in there. Obviously, she is moving around a ton. I feel like Remy is a lot more active than Sophie was. Sophie was pretty chill most of the time, and she would give me jabs like every once in a while, but she was really just, I don't know, she was more gentle. Maybe that's what I should say. She was just kind of like, would nudge me and kind of like those motions where you feel like they're just rolling underneath your skin. That was what Sophie did. Remy is like the Tasmanian devil in there. Like if I'm sitting, people can see her like bouncing all over the place in my stomach. It's really funny. It doesn't really hurt or anything like that. I will say something that she does that Sophie never did was she has found my bladder, and she likes to kick it, and often. Honestly, if I didn't have control over my bladder the way I do, I probably would have peed myself several times by now. And then like I mentioned earlier, she's the right size and everything like that. I get ultrasounds every 4 weeks at my high-risk doctors just to keep track of her size and make sure that the gestational diabetes isn't, you know, causing any concerns with her. So I get those every 4 weeks, and she's been perfectly on track. As of 27 weeks exactly, she was 2.5 pounds, which they said puts her around the 50th percentile. I'm really curious to see what size she'll be, just because her sister was a 10-pound 4-ounce baby. So I'm wondering if, you know, we're just gonna have big babies, or if she'll come out a little smaller. I'll be really interested to see that. But she's been doing great. I did mention in my last video that they had done a cardiac echo and everything like that, just because they weren't able to see everything that they needed to on my anatomy scan, and they just wanted to double check everything, and that had checked out good, and it's still checking out good. Everything still looks great, and also still no ovarian cyst as of 27 weeks, which is amazing. I'm super stoked about that. Yeah, she's still looking very good and very healthy, which obviously that's all that we could hope for. One thing my doctor did mention, and I'm just going to throw this in there because I'm not sure when I'm going to do my 3rd trimester update. Leave me comments down below when you guys think I should do one. I don't want to wait until super close to my due date to do one. I kind of want to give you guys a little bit more time to know what's going on before I just pop a baby out. My high-risk doctor did say that at 32 weeks I'm going to have to start non-stress tests bi-weekly just because I'm on medication and I have gestational diabetes. You know, one of the risks of gestational diabetes is preterm labor, so they just want to monitor me, make sure that I'm not going to have any problems like that or anything. I'm pretty familiar with non-stress tests though because I had them with Sophie. I actually really enjoyed them with Sophie. I felt like I could just kind of chill out for 20 minutes and listen to my baby's heartbeat. I will be starting those in my 3rd trimester, and by the time I update, I probably will have been doing them for a little bit. So I did want to tell you guys that. But yeah, that is everything that I have for part 2 of my 2nd trimester update. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.